Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Comics in Briefs. This is number 10, and I read a whole bunch of comics. And I'm going to let you know what I thought of some of them. So stay tuned, and we're going to get right into it. First up, we have Hawkman Found, which is a DC Dark Knight metal tie-in, and it's written by Jeff Lemire and drawn by Brian Hitch. So Hawkman Found is not necessarily a book anybody needs to read if they don't like Hawkman or they're not reading the DC metal tie-ins. But if you are, or you are a fan of Hawkman, then this is definitely a book you might want to read. It has a pretty good story, but I don't want to get too much into it because talking too much about it will definitely spoil it for you. If you've read any of the tie-ins, you know how they're written and how they kind of tie in with the Dark Knight storyline or the metal storyline. It has really great artwork by Brian Hitch. If you're a fan of his work, this is definitely for you. And Jeff Lemire puts words together in a nice order that reads well. Pick it up. All right, next up we have Ninja K number 2. This is a Valiant title, and it also represents probably the first Valiant title I have spoken about. So the story goes, there have been previous ninjas, not ninjaks, over the course of the years for MI6. And now those former ninjas are being killed off, and Ninja K is being tasked with the responsibility to try and find out what's going on and prevent any more deaths. It's got very strong artwork by Thomas Giarolo, and it's a pretty good story written by Christos Gage. He does very strong work. I like this book. It's probably one of the 3 Valiant books I have liked back in the old days and even now. I also enjoy Exo Man of War and Harbinger when it comes out. But Ninja K, not Ninjak. I recommend this. Pick it up. All right, next up we have The Tick number 2. Last week on This Week in Comics, I erroneously mentioned that it was not continuing from number 1. It is. And it is a very funny story where we see clowns and ninjas fighting against the Tick, trying to take him out. It's taken them up north, so there's a lot of French-speaking Canadian stuff going on. The Tick got his head whacked. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's a funny book. It makes references to like older characters like Chairface Chippendale, so any fans of the old stuff should definitely pick this up. If you're watching the TV program, I heard that's pretty good. You should definitely pick this up. Yeah, good stuff. I recommend it. Next up, we've got parts 3 and 4 of Venom Inc., which crosses over from Venom into Spider-Man. I personally don't really care much for the series because I'm not a Venom fan. And Venom fans that aren't a fan of Spider-Man are probably not too thrilled with it either. And the story is kind of insipid, and characters are doing things that just really wouldn't be done. It's got fantastic artwork, and if you have to continue getting it because you are following the series, at least you've got that to pin your hopes on. Story just isn't doing it for me. Hopefully it'll be over soon. And last up we have Doomsday Clock number 2, written by Jeff Johns with art by Gary Frank. First off, I'd like to say I really enjoyed this book. There were some concerns I had at the end of the first issue, and I wasn't quite sure how it was going to tie in with everything, but by the middle of this issue, or maybe 3/4 of the way in, it explains that, and it lets me know what the story is going to be going forward, and I enjoy that. The artwork is excellent. Gary Frank does a really great job, and there's a lot of cursing in it. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's weird when they interact with Superman and Batman, or at least they're in that universe where there's a big old S-bomb. So I recommend everybody to pick this one up. If you didn't get number 1, you should definitely get that. They are selling out pretty good, but I know I got some coming in next week, so I'll have a few of those. But definitely pick up Doomsday Clock. I recommend it wholeheartedly. As always, I would like to remind everybody that these are my opinions. Visit your local comic shop, and did you like any of these books? Did you like any books? Let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification, and like it. And we'll see you next week.